I'm Therese Ross, and I'm the Executive Director of Rick's Place.
I'm Betsy Flores, Program Manager at Rick's Place.
So my name is Jody Falk. I'm the director of Rachel's Table.
My best role is I'm actually Kevin's mom. So the foundation is named after my son, Kevin. Back in February 11 of 2011, Kevin had an incident where he had a sudden cardiac event. And unfortunately, it was his first event. It was also his last event. From that, we found out later through an autopsy that Kevin had a diagnosis of what they call hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and that is an enlarged heart, which is one of the diagnoses for sudden cardiac arrest, causes of sudden cardiac arrest.
So Rick's Place is a grief support organization, and we have as our mission to provide grief support to children and their families after they've experienced the death of a significant person in their life or a close friend.
Rachel's Table is the food rescue and purchase program of the Jewish Federation of Western Massachusetts. We take food that would normally waste to landfill, which is not okay, and deliver it through hundreds of volunteers to various agencies that feed people who are food insecure.
Sure. So Kev's Foundation is a nonprofit 501c3. Our goal is to raise awareness of sudden cardiac arrest in young adults. Along with that is to educate on signs and symptoms. We also have a mission to teach CPR to not only to youth, but to coaches, parents, anybody that's involved in an organization where the kids are involved in. We also, prior to the pandemic, were offering heart screenings where we would go into different high schools and perform heart screenings on the participants. So they had a baseline just in case, because with sudden cardiac arrest, a lot of times it goes undetected. So it was an opportunity to screen, and we would screen 100 kids, in a day to make sure that they had a baseline going forward.
Rick's Place was established in 2007, and it's named for Rick Thorpe, who died in Tower 2 of 9/11.
We have about 200 volunteers. We have about 56 agencies that we serve throughout Western Massachusetts. Food insecurity is unfortunately growing because of the pandemic.
We also donate AEDs to local communities where kids are involved. We really try to stick with nonprofit organizations. And our goal in that is to make sure the community are heart safe and prepared in case an emergency occurs.
I started at Rick's Place not long after my husband died, and I was raising our 3 kids. And I recognized that my background in education had not prepared me to work with kids who were grieving. And the Rick's Place program helped me recognize that there are a lot of people, including educators and pediatricians and lots of practitioners, who don't understand what it's like for kids who have had the death of someone in their life. And I realized that my experience as a solo mom raising kids whose dad had died and my experience as an educator could be helpful to kids, families, and a lot of other people in the community.
That I was food insecure for myself a little bit of time, and my son and I and my husband, we were on WIC, which is a Women and Infant and Children program, to help supplement our income and help give us some support during a hard time. And I never forgot how, first of all, that was helpful, and second of all, how it felt. So one of my goals is to make sure that all of us can talk about this, and the stigma around food insecurity is broken, because we all can be there at some time or another. And what's really important is that we learn how to keep, our hands holding hands across whatever the need is. And right now, if the need is hunger, that we're there to help people and not judge or not create stigma, but just to give where we can.
So with that, the family decided that we need to raise awareness because 1 in 3 children actually have an incident of sudden cardiac arrest every 3 days. Yeah, it is much more prevalent than we ever anticipated. It was never on our radar as parents. And then as you get involved and you start learning about it, you realize that it has been in the news, but we may not have recognized it. And most recently, the Buffalo Bills player that went down, that was a sudden cardiac event. So it does happen. So my role was to develop the mission, organize the foundation, find out where we could be most effective, and then go forward and helping our community and helping other parents out so they're not in the situation that we are with Kevin.
So there are so many rewarding aspects. I think most significant for me is working with young kids who come in wondering whether they're going to find people who understand their experience of loss, and seeing them come into a room filled with other kids where they look around and they recognize, oh my goodness, there's so many other people who do understand what I'm going through.
My goodness. And those moments I live for, they're really great. So I need to say a couple things. We rescue, glean, grow, and help grow food now too, and purchase food. So we're helping people grow their own gardens, and we help our agencies who work alongside the clients that they serve, and they're part of growing their own food. So we're giving direct access plus the choice of like what they want to actually eat, as opposed to just giving whatever is left over from a restaurant in for people. And it's just been wonderful to work with young children who then realize that they can grow their own salad and they can like it. They can actually, we had a kale party, like who likes kale? But you know what? Some people like kale after a while. You know, and we it's just like how, it's sort of like when you grow your own food, you can actually learn to enjoy it and respect it and love it even more. So hopefully we're helping people on their with their own health and their own ability to stay working with a healthy diet. One of the other things that happened to me that I really appreciated and really stuck with me was this spring I went, I saw there were a lot of Ukrainian refugees coming to our area, and some of them were not yet, or even still are not, on government services, so they're not able to get food cards, etc. So we decided to really have a whole drive and create and purchase food cards from Big Y and other businesses to give to them. And the first time I met a family from the Ukraine, they had gone through 5 different countries to get finally to the U.S. They hope to go back. They don't feel like they're immigrants. They feel like they're just really refugees until they can return, hopefully someday when this war is over. But to meet them, and you know, there were 4 children, and they had left really early, so the father was with them. So they had a whole family unit, and I was trying to just really understand what they have been through, and to be able to give them just a little something, to feel like we could do a little something towards their comfort and their survival was, I get teary talking about it now, was really important to me and really a really special day.
Each year, so we've been at this 11 years. The foundation 11 years ago versus 5 years ago versus today look totally different. And that is just from experience. It's through people that we've met along the way, education, and the work that we've put in. It's been gratifying and satisfying in regards to the amount of AED units that we have donated throughout Western Mass. So our borders really cover Western Mass. So the Franklin County, Hampden, Hampshire, and Berkshire County. So we cover all those counties there. we're close to 400 AED units. And of that, over the last 11 years, we know of 5 lives that have been saved because of our donations. That's huge.
For me, working at Rick's Place, it is really rewarding, just creating a safe community where kids can come in and find that connection, find that understanding, and have a safe place to express what they're going through and know that their feelings are okay, that their feelings are valid, and that they're going to get support no matter what they're going through. So it's a really special community that Rick's Place creates for kids and teens and families, and it's really wonderful being a part of that.
So first of all, I'm excited for what you all are doing because it helps to get the word out, because every time we get the word out, we get more volunteers to do more of the work. There's still food to be delivered. There's still food that people who are hungry, you know, in a world where there's enough food and there's people hungry, like that should not exist. So one of the things being here in Westfield is really important because we have some agencies and food donors and volunteers in Westfield, but we could always use more. So we look forward to engaging anyone here who would like to be part of what we do. We now have a very new refrigerated van. So normally it's our volunteers use their own cars, but now we have a van so we can deliver 3 times as much food. And believe it or not, there is 3 times as much food to deliver. So we'll be continuing to increase the amount of food we deliver, and our gardens program, which was just started last year. We work with 4 agencies now, we're going to be working with 4 more. So we're going to continue to develop these gardens in conjunction with the people that use the services. So we're really excited to help people grow their own food and get their own food, and really try to look at food insecurity and look at food security from many different angles, and try to be there at all those different angles to make a difference.
You know, I think we kind of joke about it. You know, sometimes my nickname is, oh, that's the AED lady, which is A-okay with me, because now that vocabulary is now added to their life and they now know what an AED is, right? My goal has always been at the beginning to make it for the generations up and coming. Let's say you're on a sports team. We all know that we need the water bottles there. We know that, you know, we have to rehydrate, and having the water bottles is great on the sideline. But I would love to have it where the athletes would say, oh, there's the AED. That's the normal thing to have on the sideline. And when it's not there, say, where is it? You know, and recognize that it's not there. Or if you go into, you know, a visiting field, looking for the AEDs. So really kind of making it second nature, that you know what it is, but more importantly, you also know how to use it.
So goals for 2023 include thanking so many people who have helped us become what we are at Rick's Place, but also among those is the Western Massachusetts Charity Dance-a-thon. And we wouldn't be here in Westfield if we didn't have support from you all. We were in 5 schools in Westfield last year. We provided grief groups there. And this year in January, the end of January, we're going to be starting a grief group program for families at the Greater Westfield YMCA. And so 2 nights a month, we'll be providing free grief support for kids ages 5 to 18 and their caregivers. And so we're excited because that's a huge expansion for us from that eastern side of Hampden County, the other side of the river over in Wilbraham, over here to Westfield. So we'll be able to work with families from Agawam, West Springfield, Westfield, Russell, Huntington, Southwick, Southampton, all the places that it's much easier to access Westfield from than coming over to Wilbraham. So we're honored to get to do this work in 2023.
If someone is in need of grief support, we encourage you to absolutely reach out to Rick's Place. We do have a website that you can find all of our contact information. You can send us an email, you can call us directly, and that way we'll be able to, you know, assess if this feels like the right time for the family to join the program, also get you connected with, other resources in the immediate. If it's during that time of initial loss, we can certainly, guide the family in the direction of appropriate resources online, and really make sure that they know that they can continue to reach out to us as time progresses. So we encourage you to call us directly, or reach out through our website.
And that's what we're doing. We're calling to action, to share a voice. I would direct them to the Kev's Foundation webpage. We have both Facebook and we also have a webpage. All of the information that we talk about is readily available right there, easy to use and access.
Our website is Rachel's Table PV, as in pioneervalley.org. And just look on it. There's a place to connect with us. And we're also on social media. We have our Rachel's Table _PV on Instagram. We have a teen group, Rachel's Tables Teens. It has an Instagram and a TikTok account, and they do some wonderful work. Our teens they educate themselves about food security and insecurity. They educate others. They do service work around the valley, and they also do advocacy and write to our Congress people and legislators to make a difference, to change some laws so that there could be more ease for people and higher wages for people, so that we're not in this situation in the first place. So get involved in any way you can. Become a volunteer. Help us through. You're already helping us through this wonderful charity dance that you're doing. Thank you. And hope to see you and just whatever work you're doing. It's great to see young people working for change. Thank you.
We're going to be doing and look forward to seeing a lot of information, because you as a resident of the Commonwealth can make a difference by contacting your representatives and your senators and say, I want you to support this bill.
Thank you from all of us at Rick's Place, because we know we do important work, but you make it possible for us to do that important work. I know you're working behind the scenes, pulling all of this together, and we thank you for that. It's really a significant difference you make.
Number one, I want to thank everybody. I am extremely humble and appreciative that you folks picked the Kev's Foundation. And it was told to me that it was the youth, the high school students involved brought Kev's name up, as the foundation as choice. That means a lot to me. And it also means that our message is getting out and it's resonating with you folks. And I think that's wonderful. I appreciate all the work that you're doing. It's sometimes easy not to be involved, but it's also very gratifying to be involved. And I think it's absolutely fantastic, the work you folks have put in, into this occasion. And I look forward to using the donation wisely and look forward to giving it back to the community.